All right. Quality people in a place to be. What's good? It's your number one chief rocker. You know who I am, Uncle Freezy in the building. Lawrence T is in the building. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that like button, and all that good stuff. Right? Consider becoming a member and all that cool stuff. Right? All right. So here we are. I'm going to talk about the early season successes and struggles, and there are a lot of them, right? And in fairness to everyone involved, I understand that it's early and have a new coach, a new coaching staff, a new philosophy on offense and defense. So it's best for us to stay as neutral or positive as we can. But there are a lot of things to talk about, right? So the first thing I think we should talk about is the inconsistent bench, right? So the inconsistent bench is something that we should probably talk about. Cowboy Bob in the building, salute. Let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about the inconsistent bench. JJ, my brother, I was just thinking about you, man. Yo, JJ is reading my mind. I was like, yo, where JJ at? Hadn't seen JJ in a minute. I promise you. Hand to the man, bro. I was legit just thinking about you, man. Like, I legit was gonna put out an APB. I was going, man, anybody seen JJ? Man, salute. So let's talk about the first thing. Nah, it's life, bro. It's life. I was like, I hope we didn't run him off, is what I was thinking. Like, I hope we ain't ran my man off, right? But let's talk about the inconsistent bench, first of all, right? So the first thing is, and I have notes on this screen over here, so I have this screen and then this screen over here, right? But the first thing I think we should talk about with the inconsistent bench is Gershon Yabusele is struggling in his new role, but showing signs of breakout, right? Like, legitimately, Yabusele hasn't been quite what we thought, but I think there's something there with it, right? I think just Knicks is in the building. Salute. I think the thing with Yabusele is this. I personally think that man has an injury he's playing through, right? I have the sense that man got an injury during the summer and didn't want to start off with a new team with an injury. So I think he played through it best he could, got out of shape. His conditioning clearly has been impacted, right? Because I thought to myself, when I was thinking about Yabusele, I was thinking, like, how does a guy get that out of shape that fast? The only thing that comes to my mind where that can happen is injury, where he legit shut it down to rehab, didn't get a chance to get conditioning, right? And then you see this version of Gershon Yabusele here, right? Does it mean he's a bad guy? No. To me, it means that he's a dog, so to speak, right? Because despite, and this is me, and I'm saying allegedly or whatever, I don't know if he had an injury or not. What I do feel, though, something impacted him during the summer where he couldn't do the work that he normally does, right? And so you come in, you see Yabusele struggling with endurance, conditioning, all that stuff. He's a step slow. And shout out to Sherwin too, because Sherwin was the first person that pointed it out. Right? Sherwin pointed it out to me. I didn't even notice. Sherwin was the first person. And you know how y'all know how I feel about giving people credit. I'll give that man his credit. Give Sherwin his credit, right? But Yabusele is struggling. But on the bright side of this is, even through his struggles, so to speak, he is still out there playing as hard as he can, right? And that shot is coming along, right? It's almost to the point now when we see him get free, we're like, kick it out, kick it to Yabusele, right? So we have that aspect of it. Like, we don't have the Yabusele that we thought we were going to get. I think we probably have about 80% of the Yabusele we thought we were going to get. Now, is he a center? No. And so does the conditioning make him look bad playing center? Yes. He was ran out of Philly because he can't play center. He's not a center. He's more of a jumbo wing 3/4 than he's a huge 3/4. He's not a 4/5. He's not. And I know people are going to dispute that because of traditional thinking. But if we think unconventionally about this NBA player's skill set, you'll see what his preferences are. His preferences are to play physically, but shoot that ball, dribble that ball, and move them puppies. Right? Others off the bench, though. David Smith is in the building. Salute. Others off the bench, Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson is developing into the proven playmaker that we thought he would be. It's taken a little time. At the same time, his defense has been questionable at best, probably even bad. But it's not because of what he wants to do. I think it's because of that role he's in. You know, he's about 6'4", 6'5", about 180. He's not going to be a physical defender at the point of attack. He's not going to be able to handle the physical, any physicality around the rim. He's a tall, skinny guy. He's just a tall, skinny guy. Right? His defense has been questionable at best. Right? But his playmaking has been coming along. Right? Like, he's shown he's a willing passer at times. And he can pass on time and on target when he feel like it. Now, there's a caveat to it. When a guy has a scorer's mentality and you ask them to do something outside of scoring, yeah, I know what it is. When a guy's a scorer, if they're known for scoring and you have asked them to do something else, ask Bernard King, ask Carmelo Anthony, ask Karl Anthony Towns, ask Jordan Clarkson, ask J.R. Smith what it's like to be a scorer, a confident scorer too. Ask anyone about being a confident scorer, right? And then you ask them to do something else. Like, hey, man, can you be a defender too? Guys like that, they're not two-way players, right? They're not. The real reason why I'm here today, though, at this time, is our youngsters have given us absolutely nothing. Our young players have given us nothing. You hear me? Nothing. Tyler Kolek has given you nothing. He's in a doghouse. Ariel Porty has been beyond awful, and that's why he's not playing. Has nothing to do with rotation and minutes, because last night the Knicks played 7 guys basically when they needed a fresh body out there. There's something about Ariel Porty's game that is missing something. And if you ask me what that something is physicality. This guy, Ariel Porty, for all the potential that he has, he doesn't give me physical big man vibes. The kid we saw last night, well, he's a man, but y'all know what I'm saying. Khalil Ware gave you vibes that he's not afraid to mix it up, even if he's outweighed. Like legit, that man, Karl Anthony Towns outweighs that man by 25 pounds, but he wasn't afraid of Cat. Not that Cat didn't dominate him. It was just he's not afraid of Cat. He wants that action, right? He's not afraid of that action. Ariel Porty gives me the vibes that he don't care about that action. Like he don't want to mix it up. Will he grab a rebound or two? Yeah. You know, will he screen? Not physically, right? He's not a physical screener. And I think that's what Mike Brown is looking for. Mike Brown is looking for dogs. If you're not a dog, man, you're not playing. Tyler Kolek's in the doghouse. Ariel Porty's in the doghouse. Kev McCullough is in the doghouse. Pakam Dadier is in the doghouse. His preference out of those young guys seems to be Mo Diawara. Right? Seems to be Mo Diawara. Here's the thing, though, with Mo Diawara. Clearly, Mo Diawara is not ready. Mo Diawara is not ready. He played for a minute last night and had a rebound, 2 missed assignments, and a turnover. He's not ready. Because if he were, he would have got some of those minutes. But our young players aren't ready. Or maybe they're just not it. And that's one of the things that we may have to consider, because if Tom Thibodeau didn't play him, and now Mike Brown is not playing him, we have to have that conversation. Right? We'll have to have that conversation. One of the things I really wanted to talk to y'all about also, right? One of the guys, one of the things I also wanted to talk to y'all about is the defense. The defense has been something other than good. Right? Now, the defense is great in spurts. When you have Cat on the bench and you have Mitch and OG and Deuce and Bridges on the floor, the defense seems to be pretty good. The only thing about having Deuce and Mitch and OG and Bridges on the floor is, where are you going to get your offense from? Because basketball is played on both sides of the court. Right? Where are you going to get your offense from? And this is not a hypothetical situation of you know, hey man, in game 7, such and such and such. Nah, we're not having that conversation. The conversation we're having is, when Cat is on the bench, and a defense can focus mainly on Jalen Brunson, they're going to focus mainly on Jalen Brunson. It's just what it is. It's going to focus mainly on Jalen Brunson, even if the defense is great and that stretch. They're going to mainly focus on Jalen Brunson. So you're stopping their team from scoring, but you're also looking at mitigating what your offense can be without a second bona fide scorer on the floor. Right? So what do we do about that? Does Mike Brown have an answer for that? I don't think he does. I don't think he does. And so I have a few points, everybody, and I'm gonna speak about this first. I have a list of things I'm gonna throw out there, and then I'm gonna get to this thing. Right? So I'm going to offend a fan base right here, right? I'm going to offend a fan base, and they're going to be mad until I get to the end, and they'll be like, yeah, Uncle Freezy, that's what I'm talking about. The cat litter, right? The cat litter. I've been watching Karl Anthony Towns' defense at the rim, and he's beyond awful. His defense is beyond atrocious at the rim. Like, you go to a guy and you fake like you're going to put your hand up, and then you put your hand down and he shoots a 2-foot bunny. What was the point of going? What was the point? Like, Karl Anthony Towns, and I like Cat, right? So this is not me getting into Mitch Hive slandering Cat. This is me as someone who's played and so whatever. Right? When your biggest player doesn't protect the rim and the other team, when you have a 7-footer on the floor and you have to go to a 2-3 zone, when you have a 7-footer on the floor and you have to go to a 2-3 zone, that means your big's rim protection is bad. Is beyond terrible. I saw with my own eyes. This is not something somebody told me. I watched the game on playback with a bunch of the Lawrence Tears folks, right? And what we saw is Karl Anthony Towns' defense at the rim is terrible. It's like something's not going on upstairs. Right? It's like something's not going on. Something's not clicking upstairs when a guy gets in Cat's face and he doesn't look to block the shot out of bounds. Now, here's the thing. This is not me bashing Cat like some others do. Like, oh my God, Cat is awful. No, that's not what I'm saying, because I know Cat is an all-time great. He's gonna moonwalk into the Hall of Fame. He might probably the greatest shooter, big man shooter of all time, right? One of the greatest rebounders of all time. That's Karl Anthony Towns, right? But there's one thing that Cat doesn't do, sticks out like a sore thumb, right? You can't knock his passing. You can't knock his shooting. You can't knock his rebounding. You can't knock his unselfishness, but you can knock his rim protection. Some people will be mad at me saying that. But we have to be able to give Mitchell Robinson a break, right? And protect our rim. But it's not just Cat, though. It's not just Cat, right? It's not just Cat. Like, even though some players have become fan favorites, being undersized presents no defensive advantages for the Knicks. For example, other teams use smaller defenders on Cat or Mitch, right? Because you can double Cat with the big, and Mitchell Robinson has no post offense, right? Mitchell Robinson has no post offense, so why even put a big on him? He won't do anything with the basketball anyway, right? You could give it to Mitch all you want. His mindset is not on scoring. His mindset is gobbling up missed shots, and that's good. And that's a great thing, right? But for the Knicks, you can't march out Josh, Deuce, Shamet, Clarkson, and Bridges on these modern NBA 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" wings, right? That are super athletic. Because their heart is there. I'm not saying that they don't try. I'm not saying that they don't try, because they do try, right? But as you watched last night, Jaime Jaquez took anyone he wanted to the rim until we got into the 2-3 zone. Jaime Jaquez, the Jovic guy, all of those guys, right? All of those guys, they put the ball on the floor and they bumped Jordan Clarkson out of the way and shot a 3-footer over Cat, who didn't defend it. Oh, they're bumped Josh and shoot a 2-footer over Cat, right? They're just too little. But here's the thing: if our young wings aren't ready, do you continue to go to the Joshes and Deuces and Shamets and Clarksons and Bridges to guard these 6'7", 6'8" guys on the way to the basket? They're just not. And if this is going to be what we are going forward, then there is going to have to be a major defensive scheme shift. Right? There's going to have to be a major defensive scheme shift. Right? Because if Josh, Deuce, Shamet, Clarkson, Bridges are going to guard wings, we're going to have to play 2-3 zone, which up to today, we're fine with it. We're fine with the 2-3 zone. It's a separate look, right? It's a separate look, throws offenses off, right? You get to rest your offensive guys, right? You get to rest your offensive guys because you're only playing 7 guys. So you go 2-3 zone so guys won't have to run around the court. They just protect their area. The injury management thing, I talked about Gershon Yabusele a little bit, about him possibly having an injury during the summer, leading to him not being able to get in real NBA shape. I talked about that some. To his credit, Yabusele has not complained about anything. He's been the ultimate pro throughout. Like, you hadn't heard one bad word out of Yabusele. Like, he legit got here. And it feels like he's been a Knick for a couple years. Right? Here was the thing. Now, on a personal note, if we're still talking about injury management, Jalen Brunson twists his ankle, so what? He'll be back. Like Tori B says, all those ankles that Jalen Brunson be snatching doing the Brunson burner, he's got them all in the back. He just go in the back and get new ankles. Jalen Brunson has a collection of ankles in the back, and so he just goes in the back and gets some new ankles. The OG Anunoby injury, so what? The OG Anunoby injury, so what? It's like one of those things where when you ask guys to, at his size, to do OG things, eventually injuries are going to catch up. When you ask a 240-pound guy to do stuff that a 215-pound guy does, eventually things are going to catch up, right? My main thing is when it comes to this injury update or this injury, what did I title it? This injury management is Mitchell Robinson. Injury management and Mitchell Robinson. Now, mind you, my frustration is not with Mitch. My frustration is not with Mitchell Robinson. Right? Mitch is my guy. Right? He's only playing 18 minutes a game, but he's impacting the game in those 18 minutes. Right? Mitchell Robinson in his 18 minutes is more productive than some guys in 30, 35 minutes. Right? Right. But here's the thing. Mitch, if you're watching, I have no qualms with you, bro. If Mitch watching, I have no qualms with Mitch. Mitch is my guy. Like I saw him post the other day with the American flag, and me being a veteran, that meant something to me. Right. My issue is injury management, and the injury management piece doesn't have a timeline to it. The injury timeline, the management for Mitch doesn't have a timeline or a progress report. Like they legit, the Knicks are telling us they're managing an injury, but he played in the playoffs and he had the entire summer off. And then you come back with this weak line of injury management. Right? Like, oh, this is an ankle injury thing, man, from previous whatever. He played in the playoffs in June. That was 5 months ago. That was 5 months ago. He was playing every game. He was playing every game, right? And now we're getting told, Mitchell Robinson's not going to play back-to-backs. Mitchell, we're going to load manage an injured player. Injured player's ankle coming back from surgery. 5 months ago, he was playing basketball with no signs of being hurt. Here's the thing. If Mitch has a degenerative injury, that's his business, right? Things happen. If Mitch has an injury that is chronic, okay. Does that hurt his trade value if someone knows? Probably. But you were never going to trade Mitch anyway. At least that's what we think. You can't trade Mitchell Robinson. It's ridiculous to even consider it. And the 18 minutes a game thing, I'm okay with that too, right? I'm okay with the 18 minutes a game thing. But here's the thing. You can't tell Knicks fans that you're managing a thing and you don't have a timeline. When is this injury management thing over? When do we get a progress report? Oh, the rest, the load management by Mitchell Robinson and the rest and whatever. Mitch has gone from 50% to 65%. And so now instead of 18 minutes and no back-to-backs, we're going to play him 18 minutes and let him play back-to-backs. I feel like I'm being shafted. I feel like we're being shafted. How do you say that you have a plan, but there is no timeline to your plan? There is no update to your plan, right? You're telling me you're doing this for Mitch, but you don't say, hey, we're doing this for Mitch until February. Hey, we're doing this for Mitch until he gets to a certain place. It's beyond bonkers to me. It's beyond bonkers to me, right? So this is not a Mitchell Robinson thing. This is a Knicks thing, my thing with the Knicks. Because for the most part, whether I agree with your opinion or not, most of the guys I speak to in here are smart, well-spoken, good vocabulary, right? Most of the people that legit comment in the comment section, pretty smart people, right? But you can't fool us with the, hey, guess which hands it's in? Wrong, because nothing's in either hand. You can't fool me with that. Right? That was my thing about Mitch. I'm not saying he's a bad player or anything like that. I'm not saying I dislike any of the players that I just spoke about. What I am saying is, as a Knicks fan, watching this team through 10 plus games, whatever the number is, 12, 13, 14, whatever the number of games is that they played, right? Whatever the number is, 12, 13, 14, I don't care. There have been some tremendous strides made by this organization, right? So one of the strides made by the organization is you see them doing more team-oriented stuff together. The Timberland thing, that's a good thing, right? Right, the Timberland thing, that's a good, that's cute, right? That's a little thing, little team thing, little team bonding exercise, whatever. I get it. Right? Guys trusting each other, guys with handshakes, guys are playing loose. I get it. Right? I get it. And I'm all for it. Have fun. If you're gonna grind, have fun grinding, right? If you're gonna grind, at least have fun, enjoy doing it, right? Yo, salute to all my people in the chat, man. I see y'all. I have a Word document over here that I'm reading from. So one thing I wanted to do, like the setbacks, the struggle stuff first, and then I'm going to talk about the successes, right? And pardon if I didn't go back and forth like success, struggle, success, struggle, success, struggle. I don't want to do that, right? One of the things I think we're struggling with is Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns both clicking on all cylinders at the same time. Why is it that we can't get Brunson and Cat to click at the same time? Is it a coaching thing? Is it a Cat thing? Is it a Brunson thing? Is it a supporting cast thing? Right? Why can't they click at the same time? I'm trying to figure that out. Is Jalen Brunson a rhythm scorer or a system scorer? Right? Because when I looked at Jalen Brunson's, and y'all bear with me, because when I looked at Jalen Brunson's numbers for this season, his numbers are down and Cat's numbers are down. Percentages are down. Right? Like Brunson's numbers are down, Cat's numbers are down, and I can't figure out why, because the team is taking more shots. So Jalen Brunson is taking 21 shots a game, shooting 46.7% and 37% from three. Cat is shooting 44% from the floor, and Cat is shooting 35% from three, which is awful when it comes to what Cat does on the normal. Like what Cat does normally is 50, 40, 86-ish. Cat's usually around 50%, above 40% from three, and about 86% from the free throw line, something like that. And Jalen Brunson is usually somewhere in the neighborhood of 50, 40, 83. And I'm not comparing their percentages because they take different types of shots. Right? So I'm not comparing them. What I'm wondering is, though, why can't peanut butter and chocolate go together? Why can't peanut butter, bananas, and honey go together? How come peanut butter and jelly can't go together? See, clearly it's not a Mike Brown thing, because this happened last year with Tibbs. This happened last year with Tom Thibodeau. Clearly something has to occur, right? Clearly something has to occur in order for these two guys to click together, because it's easy for defenses to guard one elite scorer at a time, as opposed to having to guard two guys on separate sides of the floor. That's my concern. And as much game as I watch, as much film as I watch on YouTube, as much stuff as I watch on YouTube, I can't figure out for the life of me why Cat can't get touches when Brunson is cooking, and vice versa. Yeah. And Tori B, I feel you. And during that stretch, though, what I'm saying is not both guys cooking and then they're taking turns. What I'm saying is, when Brunson has the ball, can Cat still be involved in the offense? When Cat has the ball, can Brunson still be involved in the offense? Or anyone? When Cat has the ball, can others be involved in the offense? Right? When Brunson has the ball, can others be involved in the offense? And I mean involved. I don't mean kick out, shooting, whatever. I don't mean that. Right? I'm talking about 45. I'm talking about 45. I'm talking about angle cuts, Maggette cuts, ghost screens, whatever. Right? I'm talking about like perpetual motion. What I think we probably need to see is more of a secondary ball handler. And you know what? The Knicks need a salute. Your Jay Chosen salute. Salute Juan B in the building. Tori B in the building. David Smith in the building. Salute y'all. What we need is a DJ. What we need is a DJ. Salute Paris Duggar in the building. Salute Paris Duggar says, we got to get a better version of Deuce. He can't dribble, pass, or create. He's a small 3 and some D player. Cat just wasn't ready to start the game. Yep. I agree to both. I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you on both of those. To me, right? To me, I think you're absolutely right. I was thinking the same thing. I don't think Cat wasn't ready in that sense where he's lazy. I think they showed us some stuff, and it took some time for him to get, because Miami wasn't going to do the same thing they did when he lost. Clearly, they game planned and came out with something new. So when it comes to Brunson and Cat, I personally feel they need a DJ, right? And so what I mean by that is, like, you know how two people want to dance, but they don't want to dance like two people want to dance, right? But then, you know what I'm saying, whatever. And so you're like, you know what? Hey, DJ, just play that song of mine on and on and on. And then next thing you know, them two people be on the floor. Everybody. Yeah, that's my day. I do beyond the two-step. I'll do the two-step, but hey, man, listen, I like to dance. If you don't like to have fun like that, I'm sorry. If you ain't like, if you one of them people that go to the party, go to the spot, and you ain't want to, hey, man, I'm sorry. I'll dance. You ain't want to. What I come here for? Just to drink up the liquor? Nah, man, I'm going to dance. So what about some positives? Some positives that we saw this year under Mike Brown, right? Some of the positives that we saw under Mike Brown. Randall in the building, salute. One of the positives that we saw under Mike Brown is that Mike Brown will take the shackles off of you if you're ready. So with Mike Brown, there is no red light, yellow light, green light, right? Jay Chosen is a wild. Jay Chosen one is a wild man. Yeah, but exactly. Jay Chosen one, exactly. Like, legit. Bim, $25 to get in and $75 worth of drinks, and probably 3 of them for me and maybe 1 or 2 for somebody else. Right? But whatever. I don't judge. I ain't judging. So, one of the positive things, though, about Mike Brown that we saw thus far is, excuse me, if you're ready, he'll play you. If you're not, you sitting. And you saw it last night from Mo Diawara. Mo Diawara came in, got a rebound. That was nice. He missed 2 assignments. He missed 2 defensive assignments back to back. And then on the way back down on the floor, off the elbow, he turns the ball over by throwing the laziest pass you ever saw in your life. Right? So it's like, so as soon as Mike Brown saw that, he's like, red light. Like, if you ain't ready, you're not ready. But if you're ready, it's full go. It's full go. Right? It's the same thing with Huck Porty. Huck Porty is red light. Tyler Kolek, red light, right? Pacom Dadier, Kev McCullough, Tosan. None of them guys not getting playing time like we figured they would early in the season. I thought you would have seen Tosan in at least 7 to 8 games thus far because he is the more veteran wing out of Dadier and Kumo D. Right? You would think Tosan would at least get some of those garbage time minutes. Real King, right. So, but here's the thing. Here's the question for y'all, Real King. AC in the building? Yeah. AC in the building? Yeah. Yo. So here's the thing. One coach didn't play the kids. A new coach comes in with a different system, different philosophy, and he's not playing the kids. So what does that mean? If the old curmudgeon in the old school style isn't playing the kids, and then the new guy comes in, Uptown comes in, all the flash and dash, run real fast, put up a lot of shots, man. I'm listening to all these people. And so he's not playing the kids either. There are two things going on. Either they just need more time to get incorporated into the systems because they're not veterans. So they hadn't seen it all. They have to learn Mike Brown's system and they're young, or these kids ain't it. And I don't know which side of that I'm on. I'm not ready to throw away all the kids or some of the kids or one kid. None of that. I'm not ready to do anything. But I did come to the reality that if two different coaches with two different styles and demeanors are not playing these young guys, then we have some real questions to ask. Are these kids, is there a learning curve to play for Mike Brown, or are these kids ham sandwiches? Or are these kids potted meat? I'm not answering because I don't know. And I'm not trying to polarize any side, one side, the other side, none of that. This is something that we have to think about, though. Maybe these kids aren't it. Right? Maybe these kids aren't it. And y'all know I want Pacom Dadier to be it. Y'all know I want Kev McCullough to be it. Y'all know I want Mo Diawara to be it. Right? Dink Pate, James Najee, I want these kids to be it. But maybe they're not. One of the other positive things that I saw outside of the way that these players interact with each other and love each other, one of the other things that I saw is that these guys are not afraid to shoot that three in any situation. One of the positive things I see, even if Jalen Brunson's on a heater and Bridges has a look, he's shooting that thing. Sorry. If Cat is on a heater and OG is open in the corner, OG's shooting that thing. Sorry. I saw Mitchell Robinson grab an offensive rebound and was a foot and a half away from the rim and kicked it out to OG Anunoby. Not because he didn't want to score, but because he has faith in OG Anunoby. Right? Charles B is in the building. Salute. One of the positives, that positive where guys are willing to shoot the three in any situation. Like they're not held at, like they don't have a red light or a green light or whatever, right? Wolverines 1986. Hey, you better not be screaming at your TV. I know that. No, Rick Brunson. One of the things that I saw is like the any scenario, they'll shoot the three. Man, Clarkson came down on a 3-on-3. We were down by 7 or something. And he shot the three in rhythm on the fast break, like he didn't even care. Just get it up. Did he miss? Yes. But was the comfort level there? Yes. One of the other positives that I saw is that for as much as we have flawed players, our flawed players seem to have certain skill sets that matter. And I'll use Mitchell Robinson for an example of a player with some flaws. Not that every player, no player is perfect, especially on our roster, right? Brunson's not perfect. Cat's not perfect. OG's not perfect. Bridges is not perfect. Josh is not perfect. Deuce is not perfect. But I'll use Mitchell Robinson as an example. For the flaws that he has in his game, the one thing we can depend on Mitchell Robinson for every night is offensive rebounds and defense. Last night, defensively, not so much. Last night was an off night for Mitch, and every great player is going to have 7 or 8 off nights during the season. I don't care who you are. I saw Jordan get held to like 13 points one time. Jordan shot like 6 for 28 one night, something ridiculous. So some night the ball's not just going to go in. Whatever. Everybody's going to have off nights. That's just, we're human, right? But one of the things that our guys have is they all have something to contribute. For instance, if you take away one thing, they can do another thing at a high level. Like Mitchell Robinson had a 2-point game. He had like 2 points and like 13 rebounds. He had like 2 points and like 13 rebounds. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Karl-Anthony Towns 3 is not going. He's still going to grab you rebounds and still going to pass the ball. Right. Jay Chosen 1. Right. Exactly. Like Bridges is only going to score you a certain number of points on certain nights, but man, he's going to do other stuff. Right? And that's what we've been wanting Deuce to do for a minute. Like, hey, big dog, if your jump shot's not going, can you do other stuff? Right? Like, if your jump shot's not going, can you do other stuff? Yes. That's one of the things I think Mike Brown has encouraged our guys to do is don't let a bad shooting night tear you down. Don't let a bad defensive night tear you down. Stay in there. Be focused. Be strong upstairs. Back in the day, excuse me. Back in the day when I was boxing, I was fighting this guy, and somehow he found a hole in my guard, and I just didn't know that he knew I had a hole in my guard, right? Like I had a hole in my guard. Every time I got into a certain position, he just hit me. Boom! I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how's this dude? So I go back to the corner. I go back to the corner. My coach is like, "Hey, we can't figure it out, man. You're just gonna have to eat them, bro. You're just gonna have to eat it. Just stay in there, right? Just hang in there, man, and you just gotta stay in there." And so every time I got in a certain position, boop, like God dog it, like he knew, could read my body language. Like every time I positioned myself to do, he was throwing the same punch, and I couldn't stop it, right? But I beat him. Right? I didn't knock his head off. I just outpointed him, just stayed in there, stayed focused, stayed upstairs, strong upstairs, and I beat him. Right? Afterwards, he told me, he's like, "Hey, you know you got a hole in your guard, right?" I was like, "Yeah, I know." But my eye was about my eye was about this big, right? But yo, I bet you y'all be behind y'all phones and like y'all computers and be laughing like, why Uncle Freezy be saying this stuff? It's because I'm human, and I figure all of y'all are human. All of us are Knicks fans. All of us, I go through all these different things in life, right? But for Mike Brown, he's got these guys staying strong in the moment, right? And he's like, "Man, just stay strong, be in the moment, man, and we'll figure something out over here. Y'all keep playing, and me and the coaching staff will figure something out to help y'all." See, that hasn't always been the case. Jay Chosen one says, "I boxed for 10 years. I'm done." Yeah, man. Yo, we used to box, and back in the day, we used to box in this warehouse. It was like they used to call it the warehouse, as a matter of fact. In this warehouse where they had all these rings set up. It was an old warehouse. A guy bought it, and he set up the yeah. I had the pizza eye. my eye looked like a pepperoni pizza, right? So, but I won though, right? But Mike Brown legit is figuring out this stuff. Like, hey, y'all stay in there and do this, do the game plan. And these guys over here are gonna figure it out. And it hadn't always been like that. Sometimes you gotta play through it. And now you have a brain trust of guys that's working on, they see stuff, and then they're like, "Hey, this is what they're doing to us." And we're like, "Oh, okay, all right. Right, okay." And then they see that, they come out with the adjustment, and then it's on from there. One of the positive things too, is we hadn't really had that. The Knicks really hadn't had that uncompetitive game. Like the Knicks, I think one game we may have been down close to 30, we were up on a team close to 30. But the Knicks haven't had that game where Mike Brown is sitting guys in the fourth quarter because the game is over, right? Not on our end, not blowing us out. So there are a lot of positives going forward. 8-5 doesn't feel good, but we're in a place where we can say 8-5 doesn't feel good, right? Like we've never been in a place where we can say, "Hey, you know what, man? This 8-5 feel pretty good." The RJ years, 8-5, we like, "Yo, we 8-5, son." You know what I mean? Like legit, we're 8-5. We already beat Miami one time. We beat Boston one time. We beat Cleveland one time, right? Early in the season, we beat Chicago one time, right? So we have all these good victories on our resume, and it feels good. Now with the losses, do the losses feel good? No. But I don't care what year it is and what the roster look like. Every time we do the show after a loss, it's never gonna feel good. And that's just me keeping it real with you. I don't care If we break out the box 40-1, when we talk about that one, we can be like, man, it don't feel good. On that, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank y'all for coming through and rocking with me, man. I had to show my face. This time of year is always super busy in sales. So at times the schedule is gonna be intermittent. It'll be up and down. And like I'll be wanting to do the Knicks at Night podcast, but then I'll be having an early call and all types of stuff. And so, just bear with me for a couple of weeks. We'll get through this. And then hopefully we'll be doing the Knicks Morning Drive and the Knicks at Night podcast back to back for a couple of weeks, But on that, I'm gonna get out of here. Oh, thank y'all for rocking. Thank y'all for all y'all feedback, man. I really appreciate y'all. Right? Really appreciate y'all. If y'all new, subscribe to the channel. You watching this? I'm Uncle Freezy. Subscribe to the channel. Y'all see what it say right there, right? That says Uncle Freezy. That's me, right? I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all enjoy your evening. We'll probably do some Echo and Essence later on. Maybe I'll drag Tori B over there so we can have like them conversations so she can judge me in front of the whole internet. Or maybe I'll get Triborough so they can judge me in front of the entire internet. On that, I'm gonna get out of here, man. Peace, everybody.